Yes, go ahead, madam.
Good afternoon, one and all.
My mobile, it is not a presentation case. It's showing in why this happens.
Your slides are blank now. Okay,
Yeah,
now it's visible.
now it's a visible at
Yeah,
this
now it's
moment,
visible.
but it's not in the presentation format. But my screen, my laptop screen, show me a presentation format.
Just mute the mic, sir. The second one, and
सुलेमान दूसरा माइक बंद करना पड़ेगा, बहुत इको हो
नहीं
रहा है.
उनको उसको निकालना ही पड़ेगा, मैडम. दोनों यूज नहीं कर
हम्म,
सकते एक साथ.
हाँ. If the screen is maximized, I think sir will be able to see it.
Shall we proceed?
Yes, madam.
Still
Yes,
there is
yes, sir.
echo. Still there is echo.
No, there's not an echo at present. So we shall proceed further. Good afternoon, one and all. I welcome you all to the third day of Faculty Development Program on Basics of Research, Procedures and Publication. To start with, I invite Zaim Inamdar to recite few verses from the Holy Quran. Zaim.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أرأيت الذي يكذب بالدين فذلك الذي يدعو اليتيم ولا يحز على طعام المسكين فويل للمصلين الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون والذين هم يراءون ويمنعون الماعون. اللهم صل.
Madam, your mic is muted.
Thank you, Zaim. It is now my great pleasure to introduce Dr. Prashant, our resource person who will put light on qualitative and quantitative research. Dr. Prashant is a market research data analysis consultant and assistant professor of marketing. His area of specialization is brand management, advertising, and media management, consumer behavior, and social marketing. He is a native of Sangli, Maharashtra. Sir has a teaching experience of 11 years and 2 years of corporate experience. He has guided 55 MBA, MMS projects and 36 BBA, BMS projects. Dr. Prashant has published 5 research papers in national and international journals, presented 10 research papers in UGC sponsored national level seminars, and also received Best Research Paper Award in Marketing. He was a co-investigator for the minor research project on a gross generational study of sustainable consumption pattern with reference to Kolhapur city. Dr. Prashant undertook 2 consultancy projects and delivered more than 500 lectures on the topic of market survey in different parts of Maharashtra. He is life member of Indian Commerce Association and Shivaji University Commerce and Management Teachers Association. Dr. Prashant is a multi-potential personality. He not only has expertise in his subject, but he has achieved laurels in sports and cultural competitions as well. We are privileged to have a person of varied interests today as a resource person and hope you all will benefit by his ideas on the topic qualitative and quantitative research. Over to you, Dr. Prashant.
Yes. Thank you, madam. Thank you very much. Today's our topic is qualitative research and quantitative research. So I'm Dr. Prashant Ganesh Kale. I have pursued my PhD under the MPhil as well as PhD under the guidance of Dr. M. Ali, and I think you are all listen him in the day before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So shall we proceed? The screen is visible. My PPT is visible.
Uh, no, sir. Your PPT is showing. Yes. Now it is visible, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a 1 week faculty development program, basic research and procedures. So today is my topic comes under the research procedures, quality research and quantitative research. Okay. So it's not moving. I hate.
Sir, just click on slideshow mode, sir.
I
It is
clicked
not in the
already in
slides.
slideshow.
It is not in the slideshow mode.
Now
No, sir. It is not.
just wait for just few seconds because I already went to the slideshow mode. View.
Sir, once again, share your screen. Now, stop this share
Okay, I'm
sharing
stopping
again.
my screen.
Yes.
Share slides.
No, sir. No, sir. Share screen.
Share screen. Okay. There are three options. Screen is easiest with the two monitors.
Again, share screen, sir. In the below, in the blue line, you have the share screen option.
Okay.
Now, click the entire screen, sir. First one.
When I the share system, when I click on the entire screen, it is not showing any active
Next,
button. Share system audio.
tick on that monitor, sir.
Yes.
Now it is fine, sir. Visible.
Okay. So shall we move? Qualitative research and quantitative
Yes. Go ahead,
research.
sir.
Yeah. Uh, Before that, I declare that I am a Dr. Prashant Ganesh Kai, marketer and data analyst consultant, and assistant professor of marketing living in Pune, Maharashtra. Here we declare that the images and pictures used in these presentations are copied from online resources, movies, web series, TV serials, religious story, epics. The purpose of inserting images is to get a clear understanding of the concept or terms. Researcher herewith declare that he respect all the religions, caste, race, culture in the world. There is no motive of the researcher to promote a specific religious, caste, race, culture, behavioral group, or sexual orientations. Okay, so research divided into two categories. Mainly, research divided into two categories: natural researchers and social science researchers. Because if you think when the word come research, there is innovations and something new, then it comes under natural resources and something a humanistic related. So natural science deal with the physical worlds, and social science is deal with the human society and social relationship. In natural science research, we are working on physics, chemistry, biology, and allied branches. In social science research, we are working on psychology, economics, commerce, management, sociology, and allied branches. Higher apex body which governing the funding to the natural science is a Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. CSIR, very famously known as a CSIR. And for social science, having an apex body which governing and funding to the social science is the Indian Council of Social Science and Research. Okay, so research is broadly divided into two categories. But when we come to the research approaches, so there are synonyms for the methods, approach, design, or types. The meaning is the same. If you go with anything, so that the meaning is the same. Many books in Zygmunt use approach word. C.R. Kothari books use the design words. Particularly European thoughts of research, they use method words. But ultimately, the words may be different, but the context, or we can say the meaning, is the same. So the methods, approach, design, and research are synonyms to each others. So research methods or research design is mainly divided into or mainly categorized into two parts: qualitative research and quantitative research. I purposefully am not giving a definition of qualitative research and quantitative research, because we know that in a research area, we in PhD research, in publication research, we use operational definitions rather than a standardized definition. So after these sessions, uh, participants or research scholars can able to define their define their own qualitative research definitions and quantitative research definitions. Okay, difference between qualitative research and quantitative research. I purposefully avoid the word qualitative research versus quantitative research. Many research scholars, many books debates the qualitative research versus quantitative research, but we can't say it's a versus. It's going hand in hand. They have their different purpose. They are not opponent or they are not opposite of each others. They are helping to achieve the ultimate aim of research. So, as per my perspective, the versus is not an appropriate word. Quality research versus quantity research. It's a quality research and quantity research. Yeah, we can differentiate these two researches. These are two main research design methods or approach. We can say when we use the qualitative research term, the purpose is a descriptions. Describe the phenomena in the nature. Describe the phenomena in the society. Describe the phenomena in the particular social group. In quantitative research, the purpose is prediction. It's not the explaining. We are predicting what would be the happen. So this is a basic difference between quantitative research and qualitative research. Purpose for qualitative research is descriptions. For quantitative research is the predictions. Focus. Qualitative research focused on give a voice to silence group. Qualitative research always try to find out which is very unhidden things, or we can say hidden things. But in quantitative research, generalized to populations. Qualitative research is not used for the generalization for a population. Is give a voice to a silence group means a small group to find out the hidden part. In quantitative research, generalized to the whole population. This is a big difference. The focus on a small group, focus on a generalized to population. Methods in quantitative research, in qualitative research, normally use an inductive methods. It's not a compulsory, but it's normally seen that it's generally seen that in qualitative research, the method is an inductive method. And quantitative research, it's observed that it's many times the method is a deductive methods. Mostly quantitative researchers use a deductive methods. What is a inductive and what is a deductive? We will see in the next slides. Approach. Observe and interpret. In qualitative research, the approach is observe and interpret. In the case of quantitative research, approach is measure and test. Here we interpreting, we elaborating. In qualitative research, we are elaborating, we are interpreting the phenomena, what is happening. But in quantitative research, we are measuring. So it's a need and unit. It's a needed test. Intention of qualitative research, develop a theory or develop a construct. So what is meant by construct? We will see into next slides. But the intention of qualitative research is to develop a theory and develop a construct. In quantitative research, the most importantly test hypothesis. The intention is a test hypothesis, or we can say test association between the construct. Or in another word, we can use it. In quantitative research, the intention to find out or establish a relationship between construct. Data collection methods and sample size. In qualitative research, unstructured and free form. Data is collected in unstructured way. There is no any fixed structure in qualitative research. It's a free form of research. Methods, sample size in qualitative research, it's normally observed that it's not a strict number, but it's normally observed that in qualitative research, sample range from 6 to 22. normal range. It's not exactly, or it's not the range. It's normally observed that when I go with the worldwide researches in quality research, the sample range from 6 to 22. In the case of quantitative research, data collection methods are structured and response category provides. Structured is a fully structured. Normally, in quantitative research, the data collection method is a structured method. It's not an unstructured. Sample size range from 100 to thousands. In quantitative research, the sample size is vary from 100 to thousands. I hope you get the idea up to this point. What is qualitative research and what is the quantitative research? Okay, construct and variable. In last slides, we have seen in qualitative research, the purpose is to develop a theory or develop a construct. In the quantitative research, measuring the construct. Actually, construct and variables are the same, but there is a very slight difference between technical perspective. When we use the word construct are broad concept or topic for study. Construct can be conceptually defined, the most important things. The construct can be conceptually defined in they have the meaning to theoretical terms. The construct is meaning to the theoretical terms. They can be abstract and do not necessarily need to be directly observed. The construct not necessarily directly observed. Example of construct is attitude and behavior. Attitude is a one construct, behavior is another construct. So when I use the word attitude, it should be a theoretical meaning in psychology and social psychology perspective. What is meant by attitude? When I use the word behavior, there should be a clear-cut understanding in theoretical perspective what is meant by behavior according to the psychology, according to the sociology. So this is the word we use, the construct. Variables are characters that can take on a different values. Construct become a variable. In the case of qualitative research, we use the word construct normally, and in the case of quantitative research, we use the word variable. Both are nearly same. Both are nearly same. When we think in theoretical perspective, conceptual perspective, then the word is a construct, and when we measure that construct, then it's become a variable because it's a vary. It's vary according to data. Variables are any characters that can take on a different values, such as a height, age, temperature, or test score. These are the variable. Even though attitudes and behavior are also the variable when you measure, when you just define, when you just conceptually put in definitions, you are justifying what is meant by attitude, what is meant by behavior, then we treat it as a construct. And when you actually measuring, the attitude is favorable, unfavorable, behavior is appropriate or inappropriate with the help of a questionnaire and whatever things, then this attitude and behavior become a variable. Okay. The researcher often manipulate or measure the independent and dependent variable in a studies to test a cause and effect relationship. So there are three types of variables: independent, dependent, and extraneous. We will see in the next slides. So this is a theory of planned behavior. Theory of planned behavior is, and this theory is discovered by Asek Azin in 1991. Is a social scientist, social researcher, and he come across the behavior can be measured with the help of these four construct. attitude, subjective norm, perceived behavioral control, intention, and behavior. These are the four variables. When we measuring actual attitude, then we use the word variable. And when we just defining what is meant by attitude, it is a favorable, unfavorable toward the something is an attitude, and this is called as a conceptual understanding, and this is called as a construct. And if I ask a question, your attitude toward the tsunami, then I'm measuring your attitude toward the tsunami, and its attitude become a construct, become a variable. In this five variable, there are five variables, which were attitude, subjective norms, perceived behavior control, intention, and behavior. Attitude, subjective norms, and perceived behavior control is independent variable. Intention and behavior are dependable variable, because the intention and behavior is change when attitude, subjective norms, and perceived behavior control is a change. Okay, then the most another terms we have to be know is a variable, independent variable, dependable variable, and extraneous variable. Before a start a research, a researcher should have a clear-cut understanding about the variables and their nomenclatures, or their types. We can say their types of variables we are used in research: independent, dependent, and extraneous variables. Independent variable, it is a variable that stand alone and it is not changed. The most important things, the variable which is not changed by the other variables. In previous diagram, attitude is not changed by the intention, attitude is not changed by the behavior. Same for the subjective norm, same for the perceived behavior control. These three variables are independent variables. They are not changing according to any other variables. So then we use the word independent variable, the variable which is not changed by the other variables. Dependent variable, a dependent variable is the variable that change as a result of independent variable change or manipulate. So in previous diagram, in previous theoretical perspective of TPB, behavioral intention and behavior are dependable variable, because behavioral intention and behavior change according to change in dependable variable. Which are these variables? Attitude, subjective norms, and perceived behavioral control. These two types of variables we have seen in the last PPT, but there are third most important variables researchers should understand. Researchers should get a good idea about this. Third variable is the extraneous variable. An extraneous variable is any variable the researcher not interested. The most important things, researcher is not interested in studying that could also have some effect on the dependable variable. Means researcher is not at all interested to the measure the impact of this extraneous variable on a dependable variable. However, this extraneous variable is affecting on dependable variable. Most important notes, most important alert point, researcher need to control extraneous variable. If unable to control, then it will produce an inaccurate result. So we will understand with the help of example. Suppose researcher want to study about instruction given by mother and behavior of a son. Instruction given by the mother and behavior of the son. There are two variables. One is the instruction given by mother, and second is the behavior of a son. Which one is a dependent, which is an independent variable? Please answer me. Unmute your mic and please answer me. Then I can able to understand you are getting the what I am telling to you. Shall I repeat? My question is, researchers are interested to measure the son's behavior. There is a one variable, mother's instructions, and second variable is a behavior of a son. Which is a dependable, which is a independable? Unmute your mic and please speak.
So the participants do not have access to the audio.
Okay, so it's too difficult. Okay, shall we go ahead? They can just put a message on Messenger, but I'm not able to send the message.
And there's one answer from Seema Modi. She has
Okay,
said that mother's instruction is independable.
okay, exactly right, Seema madam. Ki, mother instruction is an independable variable and son's behavior is a dependable variable. So we have seen this example in the movie of Bahubali 1. The mother giving instruction and son is following. Bahubali means Shivagamini giving the instructions and Bahubali behave according to her instructions. The Shivagamini is an independable variable and Bahubali is a dependable variable. But in second part, there's an extrageneous variable come into the pictures. The extrageneous variable come into the pictures and whole things are changed. The extrageneous variable is which one? Devsena. When the Devsena come into the picture, the relationship of dependable and independent variable is destroyed. The dependable variables and their impact on independent variable and their impact on dependent variable is destroyed because of this extrageneous variable in a part 2. And then Bahubali used the word, and Bahubali, the great words, Matum Galat ho. Why it's happened? Because of extrageneous variable. So researcher need to control the extraneous variable. If unable to control, then it will produce an inaccurate results because independent variable is affected because of so dependable variable not only affected because of independable variable, along with the independable variable, extraneous variable also affecting on dependable variable. But extraneous variables means researcher is not interested to measure. Okay, now just take another example of a dependable, independent, exogenous variable. Uh, Wicket taken by the bowler is dependable variable. Independable variable is a speech. According to the type of a speech, bouncer speech with a grass speech, moisture pitch, the wickets of bowler is varying. Means wicket taken by the bowlers and wicket taken by the bowler is a dependable variable, and speech, type of a speech is an independent variable. But unfortunately, the rain is came and the characters of the speech is changed. And this extreme rain is destroy the whole experiment and this affecting on the dependable variable unnecessarily. We are not interested to measure the impact of a rain on the bowlers, wicket taking by the bowlers. But unfortunately, rain comes and the whole our experiment is collapse. I hope you are understanding the variables independable, depends, and extraneous variables. In previous slides, when we differentiate between the qualitative research and quantitative research, the qualitative research is mainly focused on inductive methods or inductive approach, and quantitative research is focused on deductive approach. Inductive approach means specific observation, pattern recognized, and then general conclusion. There is no any previous theory or assumption in a qualitative research. Hence they simply observe the specific people, specific elements in qualitative research. Then they understand the pattern. Suppose I stand at the university gate and I observing the students are coming and going. Students are coming from the main gate of your college. Faculty also coming and going outside, and my observation is, out of 10 students, 9 students, when they are passing through a gates, they are on the mobile, maybe in a call or maybe on a chat. So it's my observation. It is not based on any theory. It's not based on any assumption. I'm just observing the things. And the pattern recognize that 90% of the students are engaged in the mobile activity when they are walking. This pattern recognized by me. And general conclusions. General conclusions, the youngsters are always busy with the mobiles when they are not doing any watching activity or TV activity or study activity. They are busy with their mobiles. Inductive, and this inductive approach comes from qualitative research. Deductive approach, existing theory of planned behavior. I just shown in previous slides. TPB, theory of planned behavior. Theory shows that attitude, social norms affecting on behavior. This is a theory. According to that theory, I formulate the hypothesis. The theory of planned behavior I want to test in the case of environmental friendliness. I just want to test environmental behavior is depends upon environmental attitude and subjective norms of environments. So I have formulate the hypothesis according to the theory of planned behavior. There is no relation between the attitude toward the environments and behavior of the environments, pro-environmental behavior. I formulate the hypothesis. What the hypothesis? There is no significant relation between environmental attitude and pro-environmental behavior. These are my two constructs. I formulate the hypothesis. For supporting this hypothesis, for prove or disprove, I collected data from the population, from the sample. I collect the data of 300, 400 students. I ask about their attitude toward the plastic pollution, plastic waste, energy consumptions, and this my attitude is completed. And then I ask them, are you using a plastic bottles? And now I'm checking their behavior. You are consciously switch off your lights or fans when you are go out of the rooms? Yes or no? I'm collecting the data for the behavior and then analyze the data, and then I do or do not reject the hypothesis. It depends. Whatever the test result says, according to that, I will reject or not reject the thesis. Then the most important things we have to understand the term is instrument. In social science, the instruments is a scale or indicators or questionnaires. In science, the instrument is the equipments, which is a help to measure or collect the data. Instrument, a research instrument is a tool used to collect, measure, and analyze data related to your research interest. In science research, microscope, real-time PCR are the instruments. In social science research, questionnaires, interviews questions, schedules, catalogs, these are the instruments. Most important things, instrument must be valid and reliable. Nowadays, I observe that researcher collect data and they carried out a statistical analysis, very high level of statistical analysis, EFA, CFA, t-test, normal distribution, what we can say the non-normal distribution, parametric test, non-parametric test. But the most important things, unfortunately, we are neglecting the validity and reliability of the instrument. If your instrument is unvalid, unreliable, then whatever statistical result produced is not accurate. So before just thinking about the statistical analysis, please focus on the instrument should be the valid and reliable. What is meant by instrument? The tools we use for collect the data. This is a questionnaire, interview questions, schedule. In social science, there are different scales we are adopting or developing. There are indicators, social economical indicators, women empowered indicators. So these are the instruments we are used for measuring the things. So the most important things we have to understand valid and reliable terms. We are talking about the validity and reliability of the instrument, not a data. Many times I observe that many researchers use the word validity and reliability of data. Actually, this is not the validity and reliability of data. However, we are performing a statistical procedure for testing validity and reliability on a data, but we are not testing the validity and reliability of a data. We are testing the validity and reliability of the instrument. What is the validity of the instrument? Validity refers to the extent that instrument measure what was designed to measure. Instrument measure what was designed to measure. In research, there are three ways to approach validity, and they include content validity, construct validity, and criterion validity. I'm not going to detail of these all three validity. I just focused on the validity aspects. And validity means what we actually measure and what we supposed to measure. What we actually measure and what we supposed to measure. So we will get the example. Suppose a researcher is interested to measure a financial position of aided faculty. Researcher is interested to measure a financial position of aided faculty. Researcher develop and question instrument. You can use the word questionnaire. Instrument developed by or adopted from previous research, and the researcher asks a question to the aided faculty: their annual income, investment in mutual fund and equity. Third question: gold and silver. How much of the gold and silver they have? The investment in land and building. So my question is it a valid instrument for measuring financial position of aided faculty? Please, anyone response, hence ma'am can forward the answer to me. These are the four questions asked by researcher to the respondents. Respondents are aided faculty. Our construct, our variable is a financial position. Is it a valid instrument for measuring a financial position of aided faculty? Madam, any response from audience?
Not yet, sir.
Please respond to the, please chat on, put your answer on the chat box. Validity is what we measure, what we supposed to measure, and what we actually
Participants, please keep it interactive. You can post your queries, you can post your questions in the chat box.
Yeah.
Sir, as of now, we don't have any single question related to the topic. So I think we can proceed further, sir.
Okay, once again, I just repeat the validity of the instrument. Validity refers to the extent that instrument measure what was designed to measure. Means what we actually measure and what we supposed to measure. Means what we decided to measure and what we actually measure. If it's matched, then we can say validity of the instrument. There are three types of validity: content validity, construct validity, and criterion related validity. So my question is, researcher is interested to measure financial position. Financial position is the variable or construct. Financial position is a variable and construct, and respondents are aided faculty. Researcher develop instrument, questionnaire. There are four questions: annual income, investment in mutual fund, equity, gold and silver, land and building. So my question, is it a valid instrument for measuring a financial position of aided faculty? The answer is a no. The answer is no, because no single question asks about the financial liability. Financial position, this construct is equal to assets minus liability. And unfortunately, researcher only focused on the asset sides. But when we use the word financial position, it's always assets minus liability. So there's no any questions on the loan, what we can say, personal loan, the loan on interest, home loan, car loan, any other liabilities. Hence, what we supposed to measure, financial position, and what we actually measures, we measure assets, financial assets. We supposed to measure is financial position, and what we actually measure, we measure assets. And it's not a match, it's a mismatch, and hence this instrument is not a valid. Maybe the researcher perform a statistical test, annual income on a T test, F test, Z test, EFS, EFA. However, whatever the result produced is invalid, inaccurate, because it's not matched with what's supposed to measure and what actually measure.
So there's a question by Dr. Abdul Salam Khan.
Yeah.
He has asked, what about the qualitative research, specially based on historical topic, in that which
Oh
type
yes,
of
yes,
test is
yes, yes,
applicable?
yes. Yes, yes, definitely. So the slides comes one by one, because these are the terms which are used in qualitative research as well as quantitative research. Variables, independable variables, validity, reliability, and instrument. These are the terms I used in qualitative research as well as quantitative research. Hence, in the next slides, we will go to that things. Okay. So hence, what supposed to measure and what actually measure is not matched. Reliability of the instrument. It is simple term. Research reliability is the degree to which research method produces stable and consistent results. A specific measure considered to be the reliable if it's applicable on the same object. Suppose 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. This is show the reliability. Means the instrument measuring what exactly we want to measure. It's when we repeat the things, it's produce the same results. It's a reliable internal reliability, we can say. Suppose 10 out of 0, 10 out of 0, 10 out of 0, even though it's a reliability, because it's consistently showing a 0, 0, 0, 0. Or even the 10 out of 8, 10 out of 8, 10 out of 9. It's a reliability. But 10 out of 1, 10 out of 1, 10 out of 9, and 10 out of 3, it's so that there's no internal reliability. Cronbach alpha measures the reliability of the construct or instruments. Okay, so I come to the point of search. So our topic is research types, method, approach, and designs. Qualitative research have a 6 types, and quantitative research have a 4 types. There are many types, but generally these are 10s are used in or we can say it's a common research methodology. Nowadays there's another things, mixed research design, but we will go through this 10 result. Phenomenological studies, ethnographic studies, grounded theory studies, historical studies, case studies, content analysis, and sentiment analysis. These are the 6 research approaches used in qualitative research. So our whole next whatever the time is fully explain these 10 methods. Quantitative research, descriptive research design. Once again, is divided into 2: cross-sectional and longitudinal research design. Second, correlation research design. Third, quasi-experimental research design. Fourth, experimental research design. In experimental research design, there are 3 subcategories: before and after without control, after only with control, and third one, before and after with the control. We will see one by one these all things. First, we start with the qualitative research. Qualitative research phenomena, phenomenological studies. The phenomenological studies examine human experience through the description provided by the people involved. The most important word. We are gathering an informations, we are gathering and what exactly happens, from whom, the peoples who are involved in that incidents or that situations. In the case of tsunami, in the case of earthquake, when you are gathered in actual information who are suffering due to tsunami, who are actually seeing the tsunami, who are the part, who are the sufferer in tsunami or earthquake, and we are asking, we are taking their experience, we are note down the things, and these experience called as a lived experience. In phenomenological studies, this experience called as a lived experience because the incident, the situation was lived by that participants. The goal of phenomenological study is to describe the meaning that experience hold for each subject. The experience hold for each subject. This type of research is used to study area in which there is a little knowledge. Just think about the Bermuda Triangle. Very few peoples, very few aeroplanes, very few planets came back, who are entering into the Bermuda Triangle and came back. So the little bit knowledge about the Bermuda Triangle. So the pilot who entered, or the ship captain who entered into the Bermuda Triangle, and fortunately he come back safely. There are very very few people, and we ask them what we experience in that Bermuda Triangle. Do you remember this picture? From which movie? Anybody can tell? This is a scene of one very famous movie of Hollywood in
Titanic.
1997. Yeah,
Titanic.
yes. And this is the from Titanic. This lady, the old lady, explaining what exactly happened on that night. So this is the human experience described by that lady who actually lived that experience. The data shows that, or reporter, there are report shows that there is a blah 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 things. So the all things are very disaster. But how the actually disaster happens? What was the situation that time? How people feel? What are the emotions when they are dying? And this whole experience is explained by that lady and describing the meaning. What is meant by love? What is meant by death? What is meant by things? They may write about their experience, but information is generally obtained through an interview. In this previous case, that person has taken the interview of that lady. She actually experienced the things. So this is the through a interview. The researcher must take into the account her or his own belief and feeling. Researcher must take into the account this phenomenological studies should be focused on beliefs and feelings. The researcher must first identify what she or he expected to discover and deliberately put aside the ideas. In this case, the researcher are interested to just know about this blue color diamond necklace, and what are the gold things, or what are the assets on that Titanic. But he need deliberately put aside this blue. He what expected blue colors diamonds, deliberately aside that proceed. This is called a bracketing. Bracketing, the word is bracketing. What is in the bracketing? Researcher put aside what he or she want to discover, what he or she want to be discovered. And then suppose as a researcher I'm interested to find out empathy in the people, so I should kept aside my point of view. Because if I go with my point of view, the researcher may be destroyed because it's interpret or it's interference of my gut feeling. And research purposefully asking such a question which is in the favor of researchers. So it's most important things bracketing. If you are failed to bracketing, the phenomenological research produced inaccurate results. Bracketing means what researcher want to discover, please kept aside. In simple words, in many research I found, researcher want with relation between the A and B variables. Hypothesis is accepted. There's a significant relation between, and researcher are very what we can say eager to, yes, there should be relation. No, it's maybe there is no relation. I'm just talking about the quantitative research, but I'm just giving an example. So what researcher want to be discovered, please kept aside and then go with this. Only when the researcher put aside his or her own idea about the phenomena, is it possible to see the experience from the eyes of the person who has lived the experience. So as a researcher, I feel that the Titanic, the captain was irresponsible, is my perception, because the story I read in a newspaper, and the stories tell that the captain is a irresponsible, he is not that much he's drunk during the time of the incidents. But and this is I heard from this xyz phenomena, but what actually happens, the story told by that lady, the person who lived the experience. And my perception as a researcher, everyone want to save their life, everyone want to kill each others, it's my perceptions. But this bracketing I should kept aside, and the actual story and the second picture show that this lady is calmly accepted it is not possible to save the life of my children also, and she accept the death without what we can say, without the fear. She accept, there's no any running toward the saving the life, because she know that it is too difficult, it is totally impossible to save the life of my child at these situations. As per my knowledge, as per my I'm remembering that one of the child is ill. Is it possible to save? No, say accept. But bracketing what says that no, everyone is trying to saving his or her life, own life. The captain not leave the ship, the captain sacrifice his life. He's not suicide. Even though the hero sacrificed his life, the hero is not dead. He sacrificed his life to save the heroine. And this is a phenomenological studies. And this is the best example of Titanic movie. Second, ethnographic studies. Are you able to see change in slides?
Yes.
Yeah. Ethnographic studies. Ethnographic studies involved the collection of analysis of data about the cultural group. Ethnographic studies is focused on cultural group. The main objective or main purpose, main aim of this study is about cultural group, data about the cultural group. The systematic process of observing, detailing, describing, documenting, and analyzing life way, the most important life way of particular pattern of a culture, of subculture or religious. Please don't please take a note, when I use the word culture, it is not related to only religious. There are different types of corporate culture, is culture. Just 2-3 decades back, the culture is based along culture is more around the casteism. But in metro cities there are different types of culture. IT culture, the people who are living in IT sector, who are working in IT sectors, there are different types of culture. Government officers cultures, IS officers cultures, pastry culture. Hence, please don't take away the culture word related to the caste or caste or religions. Culture is a pattern of people living their own way. There are many peoples in metro cities, they are not accepting, that they are not following any religious. They have different cultures. Pastry cultures we can say, or we can say another different cultures. So when we use the word culture, please don't take it only religious or caste related cultures. There are what we can say, it's a culture means pattern, lifestyle of particular persons or particular group. The life way of particular patterns of a culture or subculture. अंडरवर्ल्ड डॉन का भी एक कल्चर होता है, और the word can say gangster culture. We have seen many web series on gangsters. In order to grasp their life ways, even the prostitutes, or we can say it's they are given the different cultures, the pattern of peoples, in order to grasp the life way or pattern of people in their familiar environments. Even though if you go with the Three Idiots movie shows a culture of elite institutes in India. It's management or it's maybe engineering, whatever. How they are comes under the pressures. Culture. Ethnographers means the researchers who are doing research on ethnography. Ethnography means study about the culture. Ethnographers try to show how action in the one world make a sense from the point of view of another world. Action in the one world, how it's make a point. So I have taken an example of this web series, which is very famously with a very highest rating, MX Player shows. So I don't want to comment on the what they shown is a right wrong. So I just want to tell you what is meant by ethnographic study. In the ethnographic research, researcher frequently lives with the peoples, become the part of their culture. Most importance. The another word we can say, it's a participatory observer. Ethnographic studies need a participatory observer. The researcher must be the part of that culture many times, because the things, the custom and rituals are very close. No one gives the idea about what exactly is going on in that particular culture. So what happened? So if you have seen this web series, this inspector is interested to find out what actually behave inside the that particular ashram, and hence he changed his outer look, he increased his hair, he increased beard, take a leave, and he go inside as an devotee. What it shows, that the researcher frequently lives with the people. The researcher explore with the people their rituals and customs. He are interested, try to understand what is actually happening inside. Suppose I am interested what actually Ministry of Maharashtra, Ministry of Karnataka discussing in the military rooms. So that time for ethnographic study, I should be joined as a peon, I should be joined as a clerk, as a helper hand of that minister, or may I elected as a MLA, and then enter, and then I observe the things, ritual and custom of what ministry are discussing in ministry meetings. Ethnographers interview the people who are most knowledgeable about the culture, and this person take an interview of these four ladies. What actually custom is, what are the rituals, what are your lifestyle, what are your procedures, and this informer is called as a key informants. These four ladies know the each and every details about the what is going inside, what are the rituals, what are the customs of that ashrams. They're explaining, but researcher is not disclosing his identity. He should be shown they shows them as he's the part of that community. Data are generally collected through a participant's observation and interview. The purpose of ethnographer to development of cultural theories. Suppose I am interested to be develop a theories about the government officers and their family life. How IPS officer living in society and what the impact on their family life. So I should develop a theory. I mostly observe that the IPS officer childs are studying in a rich, or we can say it's in a rich schools or high standard schools. So these are the theories developed on the basis of observations. Or they are boarding schools in Panala, in Hyderabad, because it's not possible to carry them after 2 years or 3 year transfers. It's maybe destroy their educational streamline of childs. Hence, IPS officer decided that they will keep their child in a boarding room, boarding schools. Culture, and I develop a theory. When I closely observe, when I discuss with the IS officer, when I discuss with the IPS officers, and I came to know that this cultural perspective, their custom and their rituals, ethnographic studies. And next is grounded theory studies. Grounded theory studies. Unlike the traditional hypothesis deductive approach of research, here we come up with an hypothesis and then try to prove or disprove it. The inductive grounded theory, in this grounded theory, the qualitative, this is the form of qualitative research. We are find out the construct, and the word is working hypothesis. The researcher is not interested to prove or disprove the hypothesis. Researcher come up with a working hypothesis. Means in this case, researchers unknown about what are the constructs are responsible for this incidents or for the output. Behavior influenced by attitudes. I don't know behavior is influenced by which things. Inductive method approach, where new theories are derived from the data is very few. Inductive approach. There are two types of approach to theory development: inductive and deductive approach. In inductive approach used in qualitative research, this is based on qualitative phenomena. Researcher proposed the study in deductive approach used in statistics, used in quantitative research, and it is proved with the help of statistical modeling, EFA, CFA, structural equation modeling. These all comes under deductive approach. In this case, grounded theory, we use an inductive approach. Rather than using the probability sampling procedure, purposeful sampling is used. Because sample is very few. It is not possible to go with the probability sampling. The researcher look for a certain subject who will able to shed a new lights on the phenomena being studied. So these three scenes, remembered? These are three scenes. Which movie?
Three Idiots.
Three Idiots movie. And this Three Idiots movie, the diversity, our research purpose is why students in elite institutes are committed suicides. There are, is it possible there are thousands of samples or hundreds of samples or 200s of samples? No, it's too difficult. The sample may be 12 or 13 from the whole India, or maybe max to max 15. who are studying in the elite institutions like as IIT, IIMs or whatever, and they committed suicides. Sample maybe 12, 13, 14. So diversify rather than simply a broad the peoples that are sampled. So we have to get a sample. That sample maybe 6 or 7 people, more than enough for grounded theory. 12 sample, too much large sample in grounded theory perspective. 6 sample, 7 sample for designing a grounded theory is more than sufficient. In grounded theory, one's concept have been identified and their relation specified. The researcher consult the literature to determine if any similar association have already been uncovered. This Rancho come up with the statistics, showed to the virus, and he told us that similar study, similar association I found in all over the India, all over the world. These elite institutes are not producing a good engineers. They are just creating a pressure on the brain. They are not educating us. They are just like a pressure cooker. And this data, the similar associations have been covered by this Rancho and showed to the virus. Despite the great diversity of the data, there are gathered a grounded theory approach presume it is possible to discover a fundamental pattern. Most important things, discover the fundamental pattern in all social lives. Why this in today's movie there are 2 suicide scenes? Why they want these 2 peoples? Even though after Raju Rastogi also committed try to commit a suicide, unfortunately it's a fail, or fortunately it's a fail, whatever. Unfortunately or fortunately, there are 2 different perspectives. Fortunately, unable to he fortunately save his life. Discover the fundamental pattern why these elite students are moving toward the suicide commitment. These patterns are called as a basic social process. Discover the fundamental pattern in all social lives. Grounded theory is more concerned with the generation rather than testing the hypothesis. Means as a researcher, he is interested to establish suicide is a dependable variable and pressure is an independent variable. So independent one, he found one independent variable is the pressure created by the faculties. Second one, pressure created by the family members. In Raju Rastogi case, ये पढ़ेगा पैसा कमाएगा then हमारे बेटे की शादी होगी and then we will be rich. So family pressure. In the case of what the photographer Qureshi, I think is a photographer. The pressure of society, log kya kahenge? You should be an engineer. So this and they are not interested to test the impact of pressure on the suicide, the impact of the educational pressure on the suicide, impact of the family pressure on the suicide, impact of the social pressure on the suicide. We are just providing the theory. These are the factors affecting on. Maybe the next researcher, or we can say in quantitative researcher, find out the exact relation with the help of hypothesis testing. Who? Quantitative researcher, not a qualitative researcher. Qualitative researcher just provide a theory, and this theory is prove or disprove with a deductive method, with collecting the samples. We create a scale, and EFA, CFA, T-test, Z-test, whatever we applied, and we prove or disprove the hypothesis. Whom will do this? Quantitative researcher. Qualitative researcher just given a theory. What the theory? There are 4 variables. Suicide is a dependable variable. The working hypothesis. Suicide is a dependable variable. Then family pressure, educational pressure, and social pressure. These are independent variables affecting on this. Affecting or may we will prove or disprove in the quantitative research. Then historical studies. Historical studies concern the identifications, location, evaluation, and systematic synthesis of data from the past. The most important things, the secondary source. Historical research seek not only to discover the events of the past, but to relate that past happening to the present and the future. This discovering the events of the past relation with the present and future happening. Historical research may be more difficult to conduct than some of the other type of research. Why? Historical research is maybe more difficult, or it's normally observed that historical research is more difficult to carry it out as compared to ethnographic, phonological, grounded theory, or experimental research. Why? Anyone?
We have to depend on secondary sources.
Yes. What is already happened, what is written, we cannot cross verify with the primary sources. It is too difficult. In the remaining all research approaches, we can cross verify what document says, what secondary data says, and what the person who live the things in phenological research. We can cross verify. But in this case, we cannot cross verify. And then the next most important thing, the data from the historical research are usually found in the documents. Researcher might also able to obtain some of the field notes written by the people who have practiced. The data for the historical research should be subjected to the two types of evaluation: external criticism and internal criticism. The data should be qualified these two things. External criticism is concerned with the authenticity and genuineness of data and should be considered first. The data, whatever data we are getting, is authenticate, it is a genuine. Can we rely on that data? Truth. The ultimately truth. Suppose I found a one Bakhar of Shivaji Maharaj, which is written in a Isvisan Purva, in Isvisan 1620. What is the proof? What is the authenticity? Ki this Bakhar, this document is written by XYZ person in 1620. External criticism. Internal criticism examine the accuracy of data and is considered after data are considered to be genuine. Once we get yes, this document is written in 1620 by XYZ person. Okay. External criticism accepted. Genuineness of data is accepted. The next point is internal criticism. Accuracy of data. Whether the external criticism established the validity of the data, I already discussed what is the validity and what is the reliability. But in the case of historical data, it is not so easy to establish the validity with the help of statistical tools. There are very different methods. Internal criticism established with the help of reliability of data. Then case studies. Case studies are in-depth examination of peoples or group of peoples. Okay, just I have given the examples of these war strategies used in Bahubali movie, in Mahabharata. These are the once again the war strategy of Mahabharata, Chakravyuha, and Garuda strategy. This four strategy still used by many military organizations. RAW also use this strategy. Then America, the US FCA also use this strategy. They studied the previous war strategies of Chandragupta Maurya, how Chandragupta Maurya fight with the Sikandar, Alexander, what strategy he had used. They have studied this all and then designed the new strategy or the combination of these strategies. So these are the war strategy. This is an example of war strategies. And fifth one is a case study. Case study are in-depth examination of people or group of people. A case study could also examine an institution, event, or incidents. In police investigation, in CID, there are the use the word case. Case is opened or case is closed. Case is under the procedures. A case study may be considered as a quantitative or qualitative research depending on the purpose of the study. and the design chosen by researcher. In the case study, normally observe that mixed design is used, means quantitative as well as qualitative research design. So hence, in a case study, maximum the case study is based on mixed design. Mixed design means quantitative research approach as well as a qualitative research approach. The researcher must be interested in meaning of experience to the subject themselves rather than in generalizing the results. The particular case are different. We cannot compare one case with the other case. I hope you are seeing, you are watching the CID serial. You cannot apply whatever happening in previous case to the other case, or we cannot make a generalizations. Even though Southern India, it shows a huge level of crimes. It is happening everywhere. Every rickshawala is a criminal. No, so we cannot make a generalization statements on the basis of case study. Every teacher is an behave inappropriately in CID in the Southern India. They shows teachers behave inappropriately. But in population, we can generalize all teachers are behave inappropriately, or the all taxi drivers, all Ola drivers, all rickshaw drivers are criminals. Can we generalize? No. Case studies are not used to test a hypothesis, but hypothesis may be generated, similar to the grounded theory. Similar to the grounded theory, we propose the hypothesis. In case study, researcher propose the hypothesis, is not test the hypothesis. Data may be collected in the case studies through a various means such as a questionnaire, interview, observation, or written account of the subject. When the subject are chosen for a case studies, care must be taken in the selection process. In the previously discussed example, the researcher should avoid choosing similar type of sample. When subjects are chosen for the case studies, heterogeneity in sample. Please, most important things we should be kept in the mind. In quality research, researcher always focus on heterogeneity in sample. And quantity research, researcher always focused on homogeneity in sample. Yeah. Any query? Any doubt?
So there's a question related to phenomenological studies.
Yeah.
The first qualitative research type.
Yeah.
Uh, the question is, as each individual has his or her own perception of the event, how
Yeah.
can we check the reliability of the data when we take live examples?
Because we are collected sample of 7 to 8, and we just rely on the common part of the 7 to 8. We are not we are omitting which are heterogeneity in their experience, which is common. We are collecting. We are considered for the next further research aspects. In the case of phenological study, there are 7 samples. Obviously, they have their own perceptions. Suppose in the case of Titanic, the lady explaining what exactly happening, she has their own perceptions. If you ask the captain, they have their own perceptions or own attitudes. We ask the another person, another perceptions. But after collecting a data, we have to be find out the common thread, and we re-ask the questions with the help on the line of this common thread, and then we verify. Suppose we collect the data of Titanic, 7 peoples who are experienced how Titanic is shrink. We asked them and we found that there common thread, and there are different stories. There is mismatching between there are few points. We can ask questions, revisit the that respondents, all respondents, and reinvestigate. Like in CID, how they cross verify the things. They change the question, they change the style, cross verify the things, they manipulate the things, the call from the unknown persons. जब करते हैं ना सीआईडी में, जो मर गया वो उसका फोन आता है सीआईडी को, और देन जस्ट प्रिटेंड इट कि द पर्सन इज स्टिल लाइव, and then he's ready to, yes, no, I don't know, I assume that he is dead. Actually the person is dead, but the investigators create such a situations ki yes, he's alive and he's called us, and then the person is giving an true information. So this is the unstructured form. We cannot say how to be, there's no any structured form. In case studies, in all qualitative research, there's no structured form. Hence, in qualitative research, this is the ability of researcher how to reach to the truth. In the case of quantitative research, it's very easy. Why it's easy? Because it's a format, fixed format, structured, questionnaire, Cronbach alpha, validity, reliability, the normal outdated distribution. But in the case of qualitative research, there's no any structured format. Trial and error methods with very small sample. I hope you get the idea, and after the lecture we will discuss on that.
Okay, sir. Fine.
Heterogeneity in sample, and hence the point is once again is match heterogeneity in sample, because everyone has their own perspective. Captain of this Titanic have a different perspective. So if you choose the all employee of the crew, then it's a homogeneous sample. You just choose only one person from the crew, one person from the higher class, one person from the lower class ticket of Titanic, higher class ticket of Titanic, one from the musicians, one from the doctor, one from the priest, because their values beliefs are different, and values beliefs are affecting on their perceptions. Hence the heterogeneity sample is very essential. If you ask the all six priests how Titanic is string, they said okay, death is acceptable things, death is a truth, ultimate truth, why should I afraid? All six will tell the things, but it is a reality? No, because they are a priest, hence they are saying. So we have to be correct heterogeneous sample in the case of qualitative research, and in contradictory, in the case of quantitative research, the researcher must focus on homogeneous samples. Quantitative research. What happens? Okay. Am I pregnant? This is the question asked by this lady, because in just day before she missed her periods. So whom she will inquire? Whom she will ask first?
We will self-introspect.
Before that, because nowadays kits are available, she can see before that. Human beings are social things, so whom you will interact, whom she will be taken second opinion before take a purchasing kit, self-introduction,
Mother?
introspection. Okay, ma'am, we are not in 1970. Yes, you are exactly true. When we are in 1970 up to 1990. Next.
In this digital era, it's Google.
Yes, ma'am, it's exactly true. The second lady, she is facing the same problem, and then this Google Baba come into the picture. Or she may be WhatsApp to her friends, or doctor, family doctor, directly doctor, or maybe family friends, his colleagues. There are two ladies facing the same problem, and their question: am I pregnant? They miss their periods. The Google one: I am a 24-year-old. I had unsafe intercourse last week. My period was expected yesterday till not. Is there a probability of my pregnancy? Google one. Google two: I am 24 years, married woman. My period expected yesterday till not. Am I pregnant? Match one with one and two with AB. match 1 and 2 with A and B. Any idea? The one lady say A or B, or second lady say A or B. Google A commented by A or B. Sorry, first or second lady. Or Google B comment is by whom? No idea?
No.
Oh, this is a sentiment analysis. This is the, we can say, content analysis content. And just go with the first picture. She's a little bit disappointed. She's not expected the things. She's not interested in pregnancy. Think so?
There's
According
an
to,
answer from a participant, sir.
yeah.
She has related the second lady to the Google B.
Yes, is a true answer. And first is a yay. Yes, it's a true answer, because first is a disappointed. And how she asked, is there a probability of my pregnancy? She want to check on the basis of probability. And am I pregnant? So may I come? The what I expected, yes, please come inside the room. Is there a probability of my pregnancy, which is not interested in pregnancy? And am I pregnant is enthusiastic response. Is enthusiastic response. So within a 10 minutes, the email sent to the lady first about how to the next provisions if he is not interested in pregnancy. The doctor's clinics, qualified doctor in her area, gynec doctors, she can consult them, and these all emails pop up into her email ID. In the Facebook also, the same ads, same patterns. This pattern is recognized by the Google. And in the case of lady 2, lady 2 will receive the mails of baby take care products, baby cream, feeding, how to maintain the diets during the pregnancy. Who will do this? How the Google, or how these what we can say precaution things goes to the lady first, and how to be take cares, and how to be happy, how to be yoga, and this email goes to lady 2. Why? Because the content analysis and sentiment analysis. Content analysis and sentiment analysis. Content analysis is used in evaluating the data from the case studies. Nowadays, it's from the Facebook, internet, WhatsApp, Twitter. Content analysis involves the examination of communication message. The examination of communication message. In this case, A and B. These two messages are examined by the AI, artificial intelligence. And the artificial intelligence decided whom to send doctor clinics and whom to send the baby care products. The researchers search the patterns of the themes. Sentiment analysis is the usual natural language processing a text analysis, computational linguistics, biometric. In sentiments, the A sentiments is a negative sentiments toward the pregnancy. There is no any negative words used by in the comment A, even though the sentiment analysis recognize that the comment A is not interested in pregnancy. Sentiment analysis tools recognize that Google B comments is interested, is enthusiastic in the pregnancy. Whom? This sentiment analysis. With the help of this, we can carry out the content analysis and sentiment analysis on the newspapers, Facebook, magazine, Twitters. There are huge amount of data, and this is a qualitative research. Another example and last example of this qualitative research. Why Hillary Clinton lost the elections? The quantitative survey says that there is a 49% probability of Hillary Clinton will be win. quantitative research, survey instrument, and 37% quantitative research shows that the probability of Donald Trump will win in 2016. I'm talking about the president campaign, president election in 2016 USA. But what happened? The happened exactly opposite. Donald Trump win and Hillary Clinton lost. Why? And all Facebook comments, all Twitter comments regarding this election campaigning was studied by one researcher in Australia, and I giving the output of this research. This is the what type of research he did. He carried out the sentimental and content analysis research on the Facebook comments of US youth on election, because comments in the form of descriptions. Not we, the comment is not saying that we want Hillary Clinton or we want Trump, we rejecting the Hillary Clinton. This is not the yes no answer like a quantitative data, quantitative research. Comments is in a very linguistic way, descriptive way. According to the research from a world renowned universities, 77% of a male criticized in a country like the United States, which consider itself a superpower and thrives on progressive idea, do not approve of women running their country. Of those, 77% citizens wanted to be male. Male should be the. Out of this 77%, 72% of a men agree that Hillary Clinton is a better than a Donald Trump in a many ways, but even then she was refused because she is a woman. According to political analytics, no political party in the United States would consider running for the president for at least the next 100 years. Till you think is America is more progressive than India? It's my question. It's not a question asked by the Australian researcher. We are saying the USA is very, very forward. They are progressive. They are in a not orthodox. They are very progressive. India is orthodox. Even though India is orthodox, the prime minister, then president, women. But still, in the last 215 years history of America, there is no single lady to become a president. Till you think is America is more progressive than India? Is my question to all participants.
No.
Quantitative data show that Hillary probability is 40%. Quantitative data, but Trump's probability 39% of winning. However, qualitative data clear the pictures, content, and sentimental analysis of Facebook. I hope you get the understanding what is the importance of this qualitative data, qualitative research methods. Uh, Unfortunately, those many researchers from the all universities, my observations maybe false, but it's my observation. The all state universities and all universities highly focused on quantitative research. Very less universities, very less research institute focused on qualitative research. Is my perception 90% research are is quantitative based, only 10% researcher go with the quality research. It's my perception, it's my observations, maybe true or it's maybe wrong, what I don't know. The researcher make cross verify my opinion, my comment. From the last 1 decade I'm in the research field, and my observations that 90% research is academic research is focused on only quantitative data. Very few research, only less than 10% or up to 10% is focused on qualitative research. My observation, it's maybe true or false, I don't know. Cross verify the things. Then quantitative research, descriptive research design. In the case of qualitative research, they use the word study, research study. In the case of quantitative research, they use the word design. I already cleared the points. Methods, study, types. These are the similar words used by the different research authors in different books. But ultimately, terminology is the same. Descriptive research design intend to measure variables and perhaps establish association between the variables. However, descriptive research cannot establish a causal relation between the variables. It's just measuring the variables separately. Descriptive research is also referred as a observational studies, because your role means researcher role is to strictly that of an observer. In this case, researcher measure the construct but not establishing the relation between the construct. Descriptive research, I am measuring attitude, I am measuring the behavior, but I am not establishing the causal relationship between these variables. I'm explaining the attitudes, type of attitude, how attitudes build, how behavior build, how behavior affected, but I'm not actually testing how attitude is affecting on the behavior in the case of descriptive research. The descriptive research we can classify into two categories. Cross-sectional study. In cross-sectional study, researchers analyze variables in their sample of subjects. Then they establish the non-causal relationship between them. Suppose the researcher is interested online payments of generation X, Y, and Z. This is a cross-sectional study. I'm not interested to establish the generation X relation with the generation Y in the case of online payment, Y with the Z. No, I'm not interested. I just separately study three generations. Online payment of generation X, generation Y, and generation Z. Cross-sectional study. In the first, I shown this cross-sectional study. Green is a different homogeneous sample. Green is, suppose green is a generation X, blue is a generation Y, and red is a generation Z. There are three different generations. I'm not interested to establish a relation between generation X and Y, Y and Z. Separately study these three things. Longitudinal study. These studies may take a place over a long period of a time. The researcher analyzes the individual diet habits and determining the incidence of the heart disease after 30 years. So, researcher study of sample of 30 years old women. After 5 years, once again he studied that same woman. And after once again 5 years, at the age of 40, study the same sample. When he analyzed how they perform their activities, how their daily exercise routine, their diets, and then they find out the things. Longitudinal study, it will take a 10 years, because at the age of 30 years, at the age of 35 years, at the age of 40 years. Longitudinal study, very long period of time. If you remember the Hawthorne effect, light effect in OB, in a fundamental of management, Hawthorne effect in 1920, if I'm not wrong, 1992 to 1932, 4 years the experiment was carried out at four different time zones. Longitudinal study, 4 years. The measurements at the after 6 months, after 1 year, or after 2 years, whatever. Time is a differ. So in this second, I shown different time, 6 month, 6 month time, or 1 year time, or 2 years time. After that particular time period, we once again check the same measurement. We take the same measurements. Okay, this is a descriptive research design. Correlation research design. The correlation research is a very simple to descriptive research, also like a descriptive research. The difference between the descriptive and correlation study is that the correlation study seeks to understand relation between the variables. Relation between the variable. Correlation. So there is a positive correlation. The first side show a straight line. Positive correlation. If correlation is a move from -1 to +1. 0 means no correlation. 1 means a strong positive correlations. -1 means strong negative correlations. Researchers are interested to the rainfalls and growth of crops. Correlation between the rainfall and growth of crops. Researchers are interested to the chemical fertilizers and growth of crop. Researchers are interested into the chemical fertilizers and the impact on the soil. Correlation. Maybe rainfalls and crops growth show the strong positive relations. Maybe I'm not agriculture scientist. and what we can say, chemical fertilizer and the soil show the negative relations, strongly negative correlations. The increase the amount of the chemical fertilizer, the quality of soil is degraded. It's me. I'm not an agriculture scientist. I'm just giving an example. And this is a correlation research. Then quasi-experimental research design. In the quasi-experimental research design is similar to the true experimental research design. However, the most important thing is the participant groups are not randomly selected. Control groups are not strictly mandatory. What happens in the research design, in experiment research design, random is most important things. Random is the most important things. And when random or probability sampling possible, when we know the population. I have carried my PhD research on consumption of plastic bottle waters, drinking plastic bottles, Kindly, Aquafina, then Bisleri. In this case, I cannot go with random sampling because I don't know the exact population of who are consuming bottled water. I don't know. There is no any data available with the consumer forum. There is no data available with any company who are exactly consuming the bottled waters. In this case, I cannot go with the random sampling. I choose non-random sampling. I choose the group of 300 people who are consuming plastic bottles. Show them in one video of 20 minutes how plastic bottles hurts their health, destroy the natures. And after 1 month, once again I test there any behavioral change in their consumption of bottled waters. They reduce quantity or they completely stop to consumption of bottled waters. In this case, I'm not able to select the population randomly because there is no population list. In this case, there is no control group or strictly mandatory, and this experiment is called as a research quasi-experimental research design. Why quasi? Because this experiment is carried out in the field, and random sampling is not possible. Sampling is non-random. Hence, we use the quasi-experimental research design. Experimental research design, there are 3 types of experimental research design: before and after with controlled research design, after only with controlled research design, and before and after with controlled research designs. We will go one by one. In experimental research design, in this case, we are randomly select the sample, which is not possible in the quasi-experimental. Before and after without control design, single test group area is selected and the dependable variable is measured before the introducing the treatment. In simple case, I choose a 300 people from Mumbai, Lakshmijan Golwala College students. I measure their attitudes, their perceived norms toward the consumption of bottled water. Level of phenomena means I measured X. In this diagram, I measured the X. I show them in 20 minutes video. After watching the video show that how the plastic bottle destroy the health, how hazardous to the health, how destroy the environment. This 20 minutes shows in this short film. After watching a short films, once again I measure their attitudes and behavior and subjective norm toward the consumption of bottled water. Means I'm measuring the Y. Same group, before a treatment and after a treatment. And now treatment effect, I want to measure the impact of this 20-minute video. The video is really create a positive or negative impact or neutral impact. How I measure this? Their attitude after watching the video means Y minus X. Y minus X tells us there is what is the impact of that particular video. Same I checked after 1 month, and then I will get the idea, the experimental research design before and after without control. There is no control group. First, without a treatment measurement, then introduce a treatment, then once again after a treatment measurement take place, and after measurement minus before a measurements, then we will get the idea about impact of your treatment. In simple case, just take an example of the one student fail in the 10th class in the case in the subject of mathematics. After the fail, his parent take a decisions ki they will introduce an XYZ class. They will take the help of XYZ person. This XYZ person teach him the mathematics. He give the exam again and he pass. Then whatever mark he get, suppose out of 100 he get a 70 marks, and previously he was getting 30 marks. 70 minus 30 is equal to 40. The impact of that particular person, that particular teacher. Experimental research design. With before and after without control. There's no control group. Experimental group and control groups are the same, before and after. The another thing is after only with control design. Two test groups are selected. The treatment is introduced. The dependable variable is measured in the both groups. Suppose there are two students are failed in 10 standard. Both are getting a 30 marks. At this moment, we measure their marks, and the once again the same treatment is introduced to the only A student, not a B student. A and B are failed. There are two groups. A group is failed, B group is a fail. A division failed student, B division failed student. And we just give the extra classes to the only A division students of XYZ search. And once again, this both the A and B failed student give the re-examinations. And now we minus A minus B. Sorry, after the examinations, once again Y minus Z. Y minus Y means what? Treatment means second examination score. Z means first examination scores. And then we will get the idea the treatment is helpful or not. Because in the case of A divisions, we introduce a treatment. In the case of B division, we are not introducing any treatment. No, there is no any experiment. Control group. For in the case of our this study, for the B division, we called as a control group. Because there is no any treatment. There is no any experiment carried out on the B. Exam, no treatment, once again exam. B division. For A division, exam, they failed. They give a treatment, we introduce extra classes. Then once again exam. Then we after exam minus pre-exam. So, and this once again we get the idea. Okay. So experimental design before and after with a control design. In the case of control design, there are two different groups we have taken, and once again we measured the same things. I think that time is permitted, ma'am. Shall I go? Okay.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
Yeah. So in this case, there are two different groups. In the previous things, we are not getting these two aspects. Assumption both area are identicals. In the case of this A and B divisions, our assumption is what? Apart from this teacher activity, the whole remaining means A also doing a 3 hours daily practice, B also doing a 3 hours practice. The both areas should be identical. Suppose A is doing a 3 hour practice or B is not doing a 3 hour practice a daily, then this extraneous variable will destroy your experiment. So except from the teaching, the remaining parameters, remaining variables should be the constant. If not a constant, it will be destroy the things. Suppose in the case of a given treatment, the teacher is teaching that particular A divisions, but this A divisions is not studying. At contradictory, B is not taught by the faculty, but B division student daily take a practice of 3 hours. Then this extraneous variable will change the whole things. If Means both area are identical, both groups are identical, except the treatment. Only where is the different in treatment only, but remaining whole things, whole parameters, whole phenomena, whole element should be the same. If it is not the same, then it will be destroy your experiment. In this case, what happens is we take a two before and after two groups, and the x y minus x and z minus a, and once again we minus these two things and we will get the idea before and after with the control. But in this case we required uh, of higher financial funds, because we are carrying the experiment for 4 times, before after measurements. The glimpse of research that I have understood from the 1 decade research career. This is my last 2 slides. Research is an endless process. No research is a perfect research. All research are equal. No one is a claim he or she is an excellent research in his or her field. Research is ongoing process, and no researcher is a perfect research. All research are equal. No one claim excellent research. Most important things, good researcher is not the extraordinary or intelligence. We know not, for a good researcher we need not be a good extraordinary intelligence, mathematical, statistical excellent. Nowadays researchers feel that they should be the good in statistical. No, even though I'm a statistical consultant from the last 4 or 5 years, my career, academic career, is up to the 10 years, 12 years. Statistics and research is not that going, not impact on research is a different thing. Statistical expertise will make an advantage, but it is not a mandatory. But you should be keen with the research theoretical aspects. Good researcher need only one thing: persistent efforts without thinking about the success and failure. Persistent efforts make a good researcher. Intelligence and mathematical statistical tools will not make a good researcher. I hope, is it a readable, or shall I read? Hello? Is it a readable?
Yeah, it's readable.
Okay,
It's
read.
clear, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, just 1 minute. Just I will come back. Just within 1 minute, I will come back. Okay.
Sir, as of now, I don't find any queries in the comment section.
Okay.
But I would like to go back to your qualitative research method again, to the first study, first type of qualitative research method, that is a
Phenomenology.
phenomenological studies questionnaire.
Okay.
As a question was posed regarding the reliability of the data when we take live examples.
Yeah.
Even if we take the common ideas
Yeah.
of many people, still,
Yeah.
can we actually have the exact knowledge of what has taken place during that time?
No, it is not possible. We just go
So,
with the thread things,
hmm.
and
So how
hence
can we come
we
to a
cannot make a
conclusion?
generalized statement. On the basis of qualitative research, we cannot make a generalized statement, and
So
hence the rule.
how can we say that our research is authentic? Or we
is
can
based on
depend on that
is based
research.
on the judgment of researcher, is based on the cross verification. There is no any another tools to just we can emphasize ki yes, this is a like a statistical tools in the case of quantitative research. Okay, I stop the
So
sharing,
how
please.
can we rely on the qualitative research?
The quantitative research is only purpose for making the what we can say, sir.
We can only
The
have a
quantitative,
statement.
yeah,
We can only have a statement. We cannot
yeah,
generalize.
and yes, and this whatever we statement make, it should be tested in the quantitative research. It is for the we can accept or we can reject the whatever the outcomes come from the qualitative research. Na? In the case
Oh,
of in quantitative research, we can accept or reject in quantitative research
okay.
because it's based on very small sample size. It just provide an idea. It will not give an whole pictures in qualitative research. In the case of suicide case, which factor is affecting social pressure, family pressure, or educational pressure, or
It can
maybe
also be peer pressure.
yeah, it's peer pressure. There's a number of variables.
Yeah.
Peer pressures also, financial pressures. Because I have taken loan of the 20 lakhs for if you go with IIT and IIMs,
Hmm.
the budget near about for in IIMs as per my knowledge is 30 lakh rupees we require to get a degree from the IIM Ahmedabad. And everyone have not able to pay 30 lakh rupees for 2 years. So
Yes.
banks give a loan. But suppose I'm not getting an placement after second year, then what? Who will pay the 30 lakh rupees? This is a pressure.
Yes.
So qualitative research is given idea, this given outline, this is a working hypothesis, this given construct, and this construct will test it in quantitative research.
Okay, sir.
So we can't say that ki this is a foolproof. So once again we have to be go with this one. Quantitative research and qualitative research go in hand in hand. Qualitative research give an idea, quantitative research verify the things with this large sample. Because on the basis of 3 or 4 samples, on the basis of just 7 sample, how can we claim how can we generalize the things?
We can't come on to a particular conclusion.
Yeah, we come to the conclusion, but we cannot say that it is right. Yeah, we
Yes.
researcher come to the conclusion ultimately
Hmm.
on the basis of this 7 sample. He's saying
Yes.
that these are limitations.
Hmm.
Because I go with a 7 sample, I go with a 8 sample,
Hmm.
12 samples. And madam, the quality research is mainly used for propose a theory and develop a construct.
Okay.
And this construct is measured and association between this construct is tested in the quantitative research.
Okay, sir.
How attitude comes? The researcher observes 7 to 8 people and they come to the theory of planned behavior.
Okay.
Maybe this theory may be rejected in quantitative research. It's may
Hmm.
possible.
Hmm.
See, whatever you construct, there is a relation between the attitude and behavior.
Hmm.
And you carried a large amount of quantitative data, collected quantitative data regarding attitude and behavior. And this out of 100 studies shows that 95% of time there's no relation between attitude and this behavior.
Okay, sir.
Then it's fell. But when qualitative research, we have to be strong and a strong knowledge of theoretical and conceptual framework.
And it shouldn't be subjective too.
Yeah, subjective too. But
Right.
most important, who can perform a qualitative research, we have a good knowledge of philosophy and their topic. In the case of
Yes.
phenomenological study, you should
Yes.
have the understanding about the belief, you should understanding about the feelings,
Yes.
norms. Suppose the researcher
That's
is continuously touching their nose during the interview, then you can say that he's a false. He's not telling a truth. He's manipulating a
yes.
truth,
Huh.
and this is knowledge.
Yes.
He's just touching their hands. He just want to manipulate according to his benefit.
Hmm.
This one, yes,
Yes.
this. Or maybe he used the however. My version is very good. My college is very good. However, why however?
Hmm.
He telling he is not giving any wrong or negative comment on organizations. But after 2 3 words, after 2 3 sentences, he used the word however.
He still has
Or
doubts.
but.
Yes.
Yeah. Means he cannot express his view because of social peer pressure.
Hmm.
My college is best college because I got the A plus. The students are 100% placed. However, there is a little bit chance for improvement, but all faculties are very good. They are PhD holders. However, there is a need to be training. Why however? And this pattern of however telling that something goes wrong.
Yes.
So you have to be capture the person of the faculty or the employee of the organizations outside the organizations, go into the hotel or the whatever you can, in the park, garden, coffee house, make him relax first, informal talk, show him you also the suffering the same things in expanded another college,
Hmm.
and then what he will presenting now, this is the truth.
Okay, sir.
This is a quality research.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, for your insights. Uh, so I think we shall conclude the session as I don't find any question over here in the comment box, YouTube comment box. So what I want to tell here is these two methodologies together, they deliver the what and why together in one place. And in a
Nowadays,
nutshell,
there is
qualitative
another
research,
important things I want to be add.
yeah,
Nowadays, in European countries and US countries, now they use the both research design in the same research study.
okay.
Because of limitations, now they first carried out the quality research and then quantity research also. The same researcher or mixed. The word is mixed research design.
Hmm.
Means I collected I design a construct with the help of the focus group, and once again I test with a large population size, because we are studying 4 to 5 years.
Hmm.
Nowadays,
It's a lengthy
in
period.
India, it's a fashion, 3 years or 2 years. But in Europe, my one of the friend is pursuing PhD from Europe, Yale University. One of the friend my pursuing a PhD from the Princeton University. They clearly say that up to the 5 years, don't think 5 to 7, their norms. Because at the same time they're getting a good what we can say is a fund and salary also. But five years is more sufficient time to carry out the quality research as well as quantity research.
Yes.
For first 1.5 years, they're just focusing on only literature review. 1.5 years, and 1.5 years they propose the synopsis. They're presenting the synopsis proposal.
Hmm.
After the admission, 1.5 year, the student cannot present their research proposal. Once he get the admission, 1.5 years to 2 years period of time, 18 month to 24 months, between the 18 month to 24 months, he present the research proposal. In the case of India, the student get the admission and next month there is a proposal. Is it possible?
No.
So these are the limitations, and in Europe there are different things. 1.5 year the research proposal, second to third year their conceptual background, fourth and fifth year they collect the data in fourth year, and fifth year they proceed for the final conclusions and statistical analysis. And they are full time research workers, not along with the part times, because they are also getting a good what we can say it's a fellowship. They 1.5 lakhs dollars and something goods more than the faculty in India. So that is it possible for them. There are pros and cons also in the research.
Yes.
So nowadays there are mixed methods. Many researchers use the mixed methods, not a
So
separate method.
are these mixed methods used in Indian research?
Yeah. My observation is I teach statistics of social science.
Hmm.
Then I am Ahmedabad, which I have seen. Then which one? XRI,
Okay.
Jamshedpur. I have
Okay.
seen their mixed method research they are used, but they 5 to 6 year research is going on.
Okay, sir.
They
So
screw the research.
one question we have received, two questions.
Yeah.
Which type of test is applicable in qualitative research? And
Yeah.
if the topic is new and there is less literature review available, then how we frame the topic in qualitative research?
If there's a less literature review now, we go with a phenomenological study. The
Okay.
phenomenological study clearly tell you that the area which is unknown. I had given example of Bermuda Triangle.
Hmm.
Just three four
Yes.
people come back, and these 3 4 people enter into the Bermuda Triangle and came back. They're not given a writer any books or any documentary things. That times we go and discuss with them and then come up with the our own working hypothesis. You frame your own construct on the basis of their interviews, on the basis of their discussions, long discussions.
Okay, sir.
And then, just, ma'am, I want to continue my this explanations. My
Hmm.
one of the research friend in just 5 to 6 years back is doing qualitative research on HIV positive married women.
Okay.
HIV positive married women whose husband was died.
Huh.
Then he go into that particular NGO. There are 22 to 23 women living in the NGO because the husband family rejected them,
Okay.
and there's no any literature available on that particular things. And
Hmm.
at first, then they reject to the give the opinion. In the
Hmm.
case of quantitative data, we ask them how you feel after your husband died. Can you ask such type of question in quantitative research?
No.
No, obviously bad, or obviously they are feeling very frustrated. But
Yes.
we have to measure with the descriptions,
Hmm.
not in the quantity forms. And out of this 23, he collected data from this 12 women's. And
Hmm.
when during this interview process, he came to know they are not disappointed on the husband, they are not disappointed on their in-laws family, they are disappointed on their parents first because
Okay.
they reject.
Okay. Okay.
Husband rejected, husband gone, no doubt. Okay, whatever happened, what he behaved is a different story.
Okay.
Husband family just come into the just 2, 3, 5 years before in their lives.
Hmm.
But the parents, brothers, sisters, from their birth,
Hmm.
they also not accepting. They also not ready to live with them. They're not allowed to
Yes.
live with them. And this is a new construct. They are not highly angered about their law families. They are angered about their own family, parents, mother, brothers, sisters, father-in-law, mother-in-law, and brother. They obviously
Hmm. They are rejected by the society, in-laws, as well as their own maternal family.
whole family. But at the
Yes.
first interactions, any
Hmm.
person can comment negatively on my mother, self mother,
Hmm.
mother or father.
Oh.
जब हम पहली बार मिलेगा, कोई अपने माँ के बारे में क्या पिताजी के बारे में कोई बुरा बोलेगा क्या?
Nahi. No.
No, so we have to spend a time
Yeah.
with them, and then
Huh.
interaction with them, and then ice breaking. We have to be ice breaking things.
Yeah.
2 months, 3 months, 4 months. After 4 months, they are ready to tell yes, we are ready to speak.
Yeah. You have
After
to
four
take them
months,
into confidence.
yeah, and for during 4 months, there was one death of woman because of HIV, and
Okay.
he make an arrangement of all these funerals,
Huh.
and he also cried because he also has the attachment with that lady.
Lady. Okay.
And
That
then
is
they
a
all
pathetic
remaining
situation.
feel that the person is yes, he is understanding our feeling, and that time they are ready to yes, we will speak. Ask whatever you want to ask.
Yeah.
And this is the ice breaking, and this only 12 women of Mumbai XYZ NGO living in the
Hmm.
NGO. They're telling
Huh.
their whole story, and this whole story produce a new construct.
Yes.
This construct, and this construct is measurable or non-measurable, or it's there's a relation or non-relation will be verified in quantitative research.
Yes.
But this construct is generated from this qualitative research. This
Hmm.
is the ethnographical research. They are living with this participatory observation. The another example, the one person from Delhi School of Labor, वो तो भिखारी बन के रहने लगा रेलवे के लोगों के साथ. The professor,
Hmm.
one of the Harvard School psychological criminal psychological professor of
Okay.
Harvard Business School,
Huh.
PhD स्टूडेंट था. तो उसने क्रिमिनल साइकोलॉजी के लिए ज्वाइन दिस गैंगस्टर ग्रुप.
Hmm. In order to study them.
Yes, study there, and
Yeah.
after 5 years
Yeah.
he come back,
Huh.
and
He
police
mingled
caught
with
him.
them.
Police caught him. Ki, you live with them. You are a researcher. Tell
Huh.
us. And
Huh.
he tell that there is no any hazardous or the harmful for the country or nations. I
Hmm.
cannot tell you because of research ethics of respondents.
Okay.
And he is go for the 6 month prisoning. He accept the
Hmm.
prisoning, but he are not giving the details of these gangsters because there is no harmful for the nation or
Hmm.
anyone's
Hmm.
life.
Yeah. Because he has his own limitations.
Yeah,
It's
because
quite obvious. Yeah,
you cannot give the
you
information
cannot
of his
reveal.
student.
Yes.
It is a basic
Huh.
research ethics, and he follows
Yes.
the research ethics. And now he is the professor in the Princeton Business School,
Hmm.
and he is the consultant from the same organization, IFA, for the police.
Okay.
In India, once you go on prisoning, you will not get the job. He get the job in Princeton also. He's a head
Hmm.
professor of criminal psychology, and he's the
Hmm.
consultant of that particular police organizations. उनके बात नहीं बताऊंगा, लेकिन आगे के मैं कर सकता हूँ. I am not of the participant group.
Hmm.
These things are happening in qualitative
Yes.
research. So
Okay,
these
sir.
are the things we can carry it out.
Yeah. So it was a very interesting interaction with you, sir.
Yeah, thank you,
And
thank you.
I hope even the participants have gained enough knowledge. And one last question from the
Yeah,
same person, Dr. Abdul Salam Khan. How we testify hypothesis is up to the mark or it is only imitation related to the
Just
qualitative research?
in qualitative
How do
research,
we testify whether the hypothesis is up to the mark or is it only imitation?
we can test the hypothesis with the large sample. If you
Okay.
collected data from the large sample, more than hundreds of samples,
Hmm.
then you can able to test the hypothesis.
Okay.
But this is the part of quantitative research. In the case of say 6 and 7 sample size, it is not possible to test a hypothesis.
Okay, sir.
At least 30, as per the statistical norms, at least 30 is a large sample. If you go with the 6 and 7 samples, there is a too much limitation to test a hypothesis, and this test hypothesis will not produce a appropriate effect size. Effect size is tell us the accuracy level. So this 7, 6 sample, 12 samples, 15 samples will not produce the appropriate effect size. So then it's too difficult to test the hypothesis in a qualitative research. But on the same parameters, we can convert into the quantitative research, collect 100, 200, 300 samples, prepare a questionnaire, develop a scale on the same parameter, on the same variables, collect the data, and you can test the hypothesis.
Okay.
So in the case of, I had given example of 12, the 12 suicide cases from the Elite Engineering Institute collected,
Huh.
and the educational pressures, social pressures, and family pressures. You go with the huge sample of at least 100 of all over the India who are suicided because of these educational pressures, and then
Hmm.
test the hypothesis. There is which is the most higher
Relevant.
intention,
Huh.
relevant, or higher intentions. The four are
Okay. Okay.
relevant, but
Huh.
80% variance explained by the family pressure, or
Yes.
25 or 80% variance explained by the faculty pressure.
Hmm.
Just only 10% variance explained by the social pressure. So we have to be tackler design an appropriate strategy for how
Huh.
to reduce the faculty pressure.
Okay.
So in the case of this happen in statistical tools, but we need
Okay.
100 samples, at least 100 or 300, 30. But quality research come up to 22, which I have seen. Normally it's a 7, 8, 12, not beyond of 12.
It is very
What I have,
less.
yeah, it's just less because they just want to the undiscovered, the
Huh.
unknown part.
Yes.
You
That
just
is
want to
what
be,
actually the research is discovering the unknown.
yes, research is unknown, the things which is not known,
Yes.
which are hidden. So they are, hence the word I use, the most important word, they are discovering the construct,
Okay.
attitude,
Huh.
perceptions, or women empowerment. This
Hmm.
construct, nowadays the women empowerments are different, are changed. Just my law family or my husband allow me to go for movie, go for the parties, is the women empowerment at this moment?
No.
No. Just allow me to do the job is a women empowerment? No.
No.
Because nowadays in metro city or in because of inflation, it is not possible to be covered in the one salary.
Yes.
But when the woman is going to the outside in the work, the husband is take care of the family, take care of the child, take care of in-law parent, take care of his parents. Then
No.
we can say it's a woman empowerment. He's allowed because he want to be money. It's maybe. So in the quality women empowerment in 2016, sorry, 2006, 2015, and 2021 is change. Hence, we cannot adopt the same scale. Scale is outdated in 1998, 1980. There was women empowerment scale, but 1990 or in 2010, before the electronics era, can you adopt the same scale? The
No,
structure are changed, variables are changed.
there is
We
a
cannot.
revolutionary change, I feel.
Yeah,
There is a revolutionary change.
yeah, the revolutionary change. So 1990 women empowerment or Anandibai Gopal when she pursued a doctorate degree, that
Hmm.
time women empowerment and today's women empowerment is drastically different.
Yes.
We cannot applicable whatever she suffered and what women suffered. Still suffering is there, but the construct is change.
Yes.
Environment is change.
Huh.
So we have to be considered these things.
Okay, sir. So, with your permission, shall we
Yeah.
conclude the session?
Yes. Yes.
So, on behalf of the organizing team, I thank Dr. Prashant for providing in depth knowledge of qualitative and quantitative research. Thank you again, Dr. Prashant. And
Thank you,
I
madam.
feel the session was truly very informative. Thank you, Dr.
Yes,
Prashant.
yes. Just make an interactive because if the participant also can able to speak now, then it's a feel that yes, the interaction and that it's a good track online.
Yes, yes, definitely. We shall
So
do that, sir.
next,
And one
next,
more information to you, sir, that
yeah.
we have made a resource person WhatsApp group so that
Okay,
we have also joined you in that group. And so you
okay,
can share your slideshow, your slide share,
okay.
PowerPoint,
Okay.
if possible, so
I
that we
just
can
will
share it
I'll
with
just
the.
remove the images and I
Hmm.
will share the slides because these
Yeah, so that
images
we
may
can
be
forward it to the participants and it will be helpful for them in future.
yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely.
Thank you once again.
Yes,
And
yes,
dear participants, we shall meet tomorrow by 12. Thank you.
yes,
Have a
yes,
good
yes,
day.
yes, yes, yes.
I think Madam has left, sir.